If you're new to the gluten-free diet and you feel like your life just flipped upside down, you're not alone. The first time I walked into the grocery store after going gluten-free, I was overwhelmed, lost, confused, and just thought, what in the world am I gonna buy now? Inside this video, we're gonna talk about the things that might feel very overwhelming when you're first getting started on the gluten-free diet. But we're also gonna talk about how there is a light at the end of the tunnel. For starters, let's talk about cross-contamination. Who knew that a little crumb of gluten could be so detrimental to someone who has celiac disease or is highly gluten sensitive? Cross-contamination was something that was brand new to me when we first started our gluten-free diet in this household, and I couldn't believe that that little thing could be that big of a deal. Things like getting a new toaster, making sure the pans are washed as clean as they could be, watching the grill grates when you're grilling with somebody who is eating gluten-filled food. Little things like that feel like such a big deal, but over time, you get used to knowing what to look for. It gets easy to say, hey, has there ever been regular toast put into that toaster? Oh, sorry, I'm not gonna use it. Or, hey, what else has been used on this grill before? You get used to it and you start to get more confident as you get further into your gluten-free diet to where cross-contamination isn't as big of a deal as it feels right now. Then we have to talk about the mourning period that happens 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks into your gluten-free diet. I'm talking about mourning the loss of bread, pasta, and all of your favorite grains that you're so used to eating and have been for most of your life. It is completely normal to feel grief. It is a loss. You're changing how you're eating and you are no longer able to eat the certain kinds of gluten that you enjoy, such as pasta, cooked to perfection. Now you've got these rice noodles or chickpea pasta. Give this video a like if you feel like you've gone through the mourning period or you're in it right now and you just hope there's a way out soon. I will tell you, there is a way out. Getting used to gluten-free foods takes time, but the more you get used to it, the more you're starting to feel better, and the more you start to realize the changes in your body, you're going to be okay. You'll gain more confidence in saying no to pasta, even though it just looks so good. And you'll get used to the size of the bread when you realize that it's the same amount of bread as a regular sandwich. It just is a lot smaller because it doesn't have the elasticity without the gluten. Last, there's that grocery trip. You know, the one where you walk into the grocery store and realize eating gluten-free isn't gonna be as easy as you thought it was gonna be. Oh, do I have a story for you on that one. When we first went gluten-free in our household, my son was 2.5 years old. He was the reason we were exploring the gluten-free diet because he had some stomach issues. I confidently walked out of the doctor's office saying, heck yeah, we got this. This kid doesn't even like to eat peanut butter and jelly. It won't be an issue. I can send all different foods to daycare and it will be fine. I walked into the grocery store thinking, oh so confidently, what else would gluten be in? Oh boy, was I in for it. I quickly realized that our grocery store had one small aisle of gluten-free foods and only a handful of the things in there were toddler friendly. It was a wake-up call for sure, especially because he was being limited on the fruits and vegetables he could eat due to the fructose content. I sat down in the aisle of the store and burst into tears. We were given a 30-minute consult with a pediatric nutritionist, and while she was a lifesaver in helping me figure out what to feed him, I was lost in the long term. She got us through the first month, but unfortunately our insurance didn't cover anything forward, and her services were completely unaffordable once we got through that. That left me trying to figure out what to do and going on Google and trying to learn as much about the gluten-free diet as possible. It wasn't until about a year later, once we were getting settled and starting to figure things out, that I began to realize how much gluten affected me personally as well. That's when I decided to go back to school and become a certified coach so I could help people on the gluten-free diet and help them avoid this year of stress and tears and learning and all of these grocery shopping trips. Eventually, I was diagnosed with celiac, so it made a whole lot more sense. But I'd be lying if I said those early times with the gluten-free diet were easy. They were not. There was more tears than smiles, and it was so hard to try and figure out what to feed a kid, what to send to daycare, and what was gluten-free and safe for him to eat in the long run. Eventually, I began to realize that the gluten-free version of him was a much more energetic and happy toddler, and it became worth it once I realized what a big deal gluten was making on his body. Again, I'm celiac, so I've also seen it firsthand in my own body what the difference is once I removed gluten from my diet. When I tell you you're not alone, I mean you're not alone. These struggles that you might be feeling on the gluten-free diet are so normal. You are going through a big change in your life, whether you realize it or not. Food is fuel for our bodies, and it's there to help our bodies, not hurt them. So by removing gluten, you're learning a whole new way to help your body and heal your body. In the end, it's going to be so worth it, and you're going to find a version of yourself you might not have seen in a really long time. If you're ready to get started, come join 5 Days to Gluten-Free. It's everything you need to know, including what the doctors don't tell you about going gluten-free. These 5 days are the simple step-by-step things you need to get started on a gluten-free diet with confidence. The link to join me is listed in the show notes below. Here's the truth. Going gluten-free doesn't mean giving up all of your favorite foods forever. Sure, are you going to have to find gluten-free versions of a lot of your favorite foods? Absolutely. But over time, you're going to get used to the gluten-free versions of those foods. You might try bread the first time and think this is disgusting, I'm never eating this again. But the reality is, the more and more you make it, the more and more you toast it and get used to how you like it, you're going to realize that gluten-free bread isn't as bad as it seemed the first time. The same thing with pasta. There's tricks to making sure they work out correctly, and once you get those tricks sorted out, you'll have no problem enjoying a pasta salad or a spaghetti night with your family without the gluten. Eventually, you're going to start to realize that you don't even miss the gluten because your body feels so much better now that it started to heal and the gluten is gone. If you're looking for more than just the basics, my course, Going Gluten-Free, is here to help you take the overwhelm out of everyday living with a gluten-free diet. The link is in the show notes below, so make sure to grab it if you're ready to get started and really commit to this gluten-free diet long term. So if you're feeling very overwhelmed right now, just remember that that's totally normal. In the next video in this series, we're going to talk all about the mindset shift that you didn't realize you needed with the gluten-free diet. This mindset shift is the secret to the long-term commitment on your gluten-free diet.